Welcome to the 7th Floor Coogs podcast, where tradition meets today. We're your go-to podcast for all things University of Houston sports. All teams, all eras, all heart. We're not just fans. We're former Cougar athletes who lived the grind, wore the jersey, competed with pride, and still ride with the red and white. From big wins to hard losses, locker room moments to campus memories, this is where we keep Cougar spirit alive. Whether you're a loyal returning listener or you're tuning in for the first time, welcome to the family. This is your front row seat to game breakdowns, player insights, bold opinions, and plenty of Cougar pride. We'll be covering it all: football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, track, and more. If U of H competes in it, we're talking about it. And yeah, we've got some stories you've never heard, but definitely want to. So get ready. This isn't just another sports podcast. This is the 7th Floor Coogs All Access Podcast. Let's get into it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is the 7th Floor Coogs Show. It's our flagship, our first podcast together. I am Keemer, the Houston Cougar, ex-Letterman, and I'm here with my broadcast partner, Jimmy Sullivan. Sully, what's going on with you, buddy?
What's up, Big Kev? I'm just happy to be here. Reconnecting with my buddy Kev from our days at U of H, and I'm ex track runner as well, a cross country track, and and big fan of all U of H sports.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to follow here on the 7th Floor Coogs. I guess maybe let's just, even before we get to the football aspect of it, I think we should let people in on the inside joke about what the 7th Floor Coogs is really all about.
You can't tell them everything, Kev.
Well, we won't tell them what went on the 7th floor. But back in the day, back when we were alumni at the University of Houston, the 7th floor, well, actually the North Tower, the whole North Tower from the 1st floor to the 7th floor was basically the athletic dorm. We had... baseball was on 1 and 2, basketball was there, football was between 3 and 5, and 6 was the track team. And that's basically how we got to be the 7th Floor Coogs. And there are plenty of us. You'll see a lot of our buddies on the station from time to time, on the show from time to time. They'll duck in. I'm hoping we can even get some live broadcasts of some of the games, because I know we're all over the country now, and we get to, I know you've been to some Houston Rutgers games, right? Yeah,
actually, that one year that I guess we were in the American then, or Conference USA, one of the two. They Houston came up to play Rutgers, and actually Leroy and Carl came up and got us all tickets, and they had a night out in New Brunswick the night before, and it was fun. Everyone met up, and then the next day we went to the game on Saturday, and if I remember correctly, we blew them out. So it was a good day for U of H.
All the way around. Yes, and so we'll get some stories, old and new, about what's going on in Cougar history and Cougar present. But for right now, I think we are on the eve of football season. Actually, August 28th, Thursday night, the Cougs hit the gridiron, and they're playing Stephen F. Austin. They've got a pretty good schedule coming up here. Let me put their schedule up on the board here. But before we talk about this year's schedule, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to talk Big 12 football, Cougs, and the big question we'll get to later on in the broadcast is: are the Cougs going to be bowl bound this year? But let's take a look at last year first, Sully. Last year was a beautiful year. I was at the Open. We were sitting up in the suite, up at the track and field suite up there at the new stadium, which is absolutely beautiful if you haven't been yet.
I actually have not. I have not. I've been, when we went back for the reunion. I saw the stadium and I've been in it, but I haven't been to a live game yet.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's a beautiful stadium. It's nothing like some of the other stadiums that you've probably seen games at. It's just not as big as like some of the other stadiums, but it's a quaint, perfect size, and it's right on campus, which makes it really nice. But last year I was at the opening game, and we were all anticipating the Cougs with the new coach, Coach Fritz. We just thought that we were going to see a little something, and we actually saw a little nothing. last year's team, Sully, was terrible. I have to admit, it was really terrible. There were flashes, I have to admit. There were flashes. They beat a ranked team last year. But other than that, everything was just, they beat Kansas State. Everything was just not good last year. Did you actually catch the game at all? Or
I watched bits and pieces of almost every game. When we were getting blown out, it was hard for me to stay with it. Not being there physically, but yeah, no. I watched. I knew Coach Fritz from Tulane. I followed him a little bit, and I was excited about the hire. But and you know what? It was his first year, so I'll give him grace. And yeah, it was a hard year, right?
yeah, it was. When you consider that we went 4-8. And look, some of the really bad. The low lights, as you could see up on the screen there, everybody can look and see. We went 4 games without an offensive touchdown. We got shut out twice.
I know, that's crazy.
I think we lost to Baylor, but in that game we scored a defensive touchdown. Okay. It wasn't good. Then we played Arizona and only scored 3 points. So the offense was pretty bad last year, and the defense was also pretty bad, giving up a whole heck of a lot of points. So that was really it for last year. There's really not much to say. I agree. It was Willie Fritz's first year, and we should have a little grace. And we did, like I said, we beat a ranked team. But I was really hoping for more. We put up a good fight against Oklahoma last year, but we lost, and then we just proceeded to get blown out in game after game after game. So there you go. So with that being said, we'll put that in the past, Sully, unless you have anything else to say.
It kills you when you see U of H. We obviously the years we were there, they were Southwest Conference going back to ancient history, but we were always in the mix. I think we won 2 Cotton Bowls when we were there, right? We were kind of in the glory days of U of H athletics, but hopefully, us getting back in the Big 12 and being one of the power conferences, I'm very optimistic. So I'm hoping for some big improvement in Willie Fritz's second year.
Yeah, I think so. I will admit that you are right. We did live through the golden age of U of H sports and of football there. But one of the things that you have to agree with me. One of the things that we really celebrated as U of H fans is the offense. We've always, we've had like David Klingler, we had Andre Ware. All of these guys are throwing touchdowns left and right.
Case Keenum.
Yeah, Case Keenum. We had Jack Pardee with the what was that? What did he call that? The air
run and shoot, right?
Yeah, run and shoot. Yeah. It's just we've always prided ourselves on offense. And granted, the defense was always a little shaky, but we could outscore teams and win games. And to see us play last year in 4 games and not score an offensive touchdown was heartbreaking for me, Sully. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
But this year, I'm hoping this year we have a little bit of a better opportunity to show off some of the things that we that we can do on the offense, especially with this kid Connor Wegman. We were talking before the broadcast. Everything I hear about this kid is like he's the real deal, and if he can stay healthy, which he hadn't been, we can go bowling this year, is what the people are saying.
Yeah, former 5-star recruit. Obviously he's had his ups and downs at A&M. If he can stay healthy for us, and it's his hometown, feeling comfortable there, playing with the Cougs, it could be, it could be a home run for us.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at the Coog schedule again a little bit before the broadcast, we were talking, and hopefully the open this Thursday against Stephen F. Austin is what we get to see an offense and a defense working together against a team we should handle with no problem. I really think that as much as we'll learn a lot in this opening game. If Wegman and his new, I should say he's new, it's a returning wide receiver for us, but Stephen Johnson there, if he plays well and they can hook up a couple times, we should see some offense, and we should be happy with the way that turns out against a team like Stephen F. And even Rice should be no competition for us either. Now, Colorado might be a little bit of a challenge, but I really think, Sully, that we can go 4-0 without much of a hassle.
Yeah, I mean, like we were speaking prior to the broadcast, I agree. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I'm definitely feeling optimistic for at least the first two games. Colorado's, will be a tougher opponent, and obviously Oregon State. So I mean, that'd be fantastic. That would put us on track to go bowling. Absolutely.
For those of you who don't know, if you're going to go to a bowl game, you have to win at least 6 games to make it to the bowl game, and that's the way it is in the NCAA. And I really do think that we can do that. But hopefully this team, like I said, can improve. I like the fact that they got this out of the transfer portal, this guy, Tana Koziel, tight end, 94 receptions, 8 touchdowns last year. I forget where he came from. It might have been, it wasn't Georgia. I don't remember offhand where he came from, but he's a portal transfer guy that I think can really make a big difference for us. I'm hoping that he can. I love tight end play, by the way. I think the tight end is underutilized in college sports.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much of him. I see his stats here, but yeah, they always say a tight end's a quarterback's best friend, right? He's there to bail him out quite a bit. Drop it down to him.
Yeah, from what I understand, he's a big kid too and can run, so that's always a good thing. But the Big 12 this year is going to be tough again. For us in football, we've stepped up a whole bunch, and I really, in terms of a conference from the American to the Big 12 is a very big step up. But it was overdue, man. I really felt that we should have been in a Power 5 conference from the beginning.
Absolutely. I think. I mean, the rumor always was that Texas and A&M didn't want us in the conference because they wanted to recruit Houston, the city, and it makes sense. I mean, but for all those years, we were kind of treated like the redheaded stepchild, right? I mean, we should have been. We were one of the top Southwest Conference teams, and we just kind of got kicked to the curb, So, it's nice to see us back in a power conference. I mean, hopefully we get the support and, do well in it.
Yeah, we were wandering around in the desert for many a year until we hopped into this Big 12 and obviously the Big 12 is a strong football conference, but as you and I both love basketball, we know that the Big 12 basketball is what we really care about. But
absolutely.
That's our conference in terms of that. Maybe we can get to the point where the Big 12 football is our conference too. I have a lot of faith in Willie Fritz. I really do. I like his style. I like what he's brought. And his attitude is so much different than the last coach. The last coach was terrible, and the rumor has it that he's in Nebraska now. By the way,
I mean, he was supposed to be a big get for us, Dana Holgerson, right? I mean, he was an assistant. I think he was assistant at a bunch of places, even with the Coogs, and they loved him, right? And then he went to head coach at West Virginia for those years. But when we got him stole him from like the Power 5 conference.
Right.
We thought we were getting a gem, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard his. I shouldn't speak out of court, but it was definitely some things to be left as some improvements. I heard the work ethic wasn't always there, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, from what I understand, and again, we won't talk too much out of school, but from what I understand, his attitude was horrible with respect to recruiting. And in college sports, recruiting is the name of the game.
Absolutely.
If you can't, he had said, if I'm not mistaken, early before they got rid of him, he had said that, well, all of the good players are gone, and there's no sense in going out there and doing any recruiting. And like 2 weeks later, they got rid of him, and in comes Fritz, and Fritz, 56 players from the portal came to the U of H after Dana Holgerson left. And now, granted, we didn't play well last year, but to bring in new talent after is always a good thing. And you bring in a bunch. It's like Texas back in the day. You bring in 1,000 people and you kick the worst of them out, and then you save the best 50.
Yeah, you want them competing for starting positions, right? Like, so you have to bring people in, and I'm sure a lot of those guys may not have lived up to like playing an important role in U of H, but you got to build a roster, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Hey, I got one more slide I want to share with you just to kind of go over some of the things that we really need to turn around this year. Last year, total defense, we were the 19th worst team. Passing defense, the 17th worst team in all of college football. Our rushing defense was ranked 98th. Okay, points allowed per game was 31. If you're giving up 31 points a game in a college football, it's hard to win. It's hard to win. And then the offense was ranked 128th. Unbelievable. Ranked 132nd, scoring only 14 points a game on average. And they were ranked 126. I guess I skipped the yards per game, but the actual number. But that's just how bad we were last year. So to be honest with you, Sully, no matter what happens,
I was going to say there's only one way to go up. Hopefully.
Exactly. When you're down with these kind of numbers, I mean, you're down there with the Rices and the Stephen F. Austins and the and the Lamars of the Division One. We got to shine a bigger and better than that this year.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you said, we were Houston's been kind of hanging its hat on basketball recently. I mean, they're unbelievable, right? We want to get that national championship, but other than that, you couldn't ask for more, right? That I remember when we were at Houston. I remember going in the training room once, and Tom Wilson or something like that. He said, son, what sport do you do? When we had one training room, and I said cross country, and he goes, son, that's not a sport. There's only two sports in Texas, and that's football and spring football. So I mean, it's football country. I think if we show some flashes, everyone will get behind football in a big way. So I mean, Fritz is. I think the opportunity is huge for him.
I agree. This is the stadium last year, even opening night, didn't sell out. Okay. And as you know, my wife is a Nebraska fan, and they've sold out 100,000 seat stadium for like 500 games in a row. People were excited about Fritz coming, and I think people will get excited again if we can start winning, and if we can, that stadium can fill up. I really do believe that stadium can fill up, especially if we can start pulling players in from the Houston Metroplex. It's the fourth largest city in the country. There is talent in Houston. I hate it when I'm watching the Georgias and the Ohio States and all of the big name schools that you can think of, the Alabamas, and like 3 or 4 or 5 of the starters on one side of the ball or the other are out of the Houston area. I just hate that. It's just terrible to see that. We should be able to build that stadium, fill that stadium with fans, because we got a lot of hometown talent that should stay home. And once we get winning going, I really think that that's going to happen. I really do. If we can follow the culture kind of theme of the basketball team, we can build a home culture and maybe fill that stadium once or twice, 5 times, 6 times a year.
No, I mean, you know better than me, Kev. You're boots on the ground in Houston, but I would think so. And I know Tillman Fertitta is, obviously he's a huge donor to the university, especially with basketball. But is he behind the football team as much?
Not as much. His money really. Obviously his name is on the Fertitta Center. That's where the
Rockets, right? Yeah.
It's and that. Did you know that he is President Trump has made him the ambassador or something like that to I believe it's Italy.
You know what? I think when I was down in Houston, I think one of our buddies told me that. Yeah. I did not know that.
I don't know if that means more or less of his time is going to be devoted to U of H sports, or more or less of his money, which is more important. It's either him or Mattress Mac down there.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll make U of H sports great again.
Yeah, well, we hope so. But Sully, we're about 20 minutes into this thing. I think we're going to wrap it up. It's been a great first show with you. We'll be back next week. We'll probably do a post-game show at some point, at least between the first game and the next game. But for right now, buddy, one thing that I always like to do is, before I let you go, you got to give me a shout out for somebody in the sports world. It could be your amazing soccer player daughter, or it could be the new guy that was just recruited to the base track. Doesn't matter to me, but any sport, anybody, just give a shout out.
Oh, wow. Caught off guard by that. What's something I'm looking forward to seeing, or
yeah, sure.
Well, I don't know. I'll give you a shout out to a neighbor close by. Let's give a shout out to Cindy McLaughlin Lavroni, who is from the next town over from me. Let's go back to our track and field roots, and she's I think she's going to get the gold medal at the World Championships. I mean, she's won the Olympic gold medal and set all the world records for the 400 intermediates, but she's running the straight 400 meters outright this year, and she's won the U.S. trials. And I'm a big fan. Been following her since she's in grammar school. So let's go, Cindy McLaughlin.
And what would even be more fun is this podcast getting a little traction. So if you like what you hear, please subscribe. We have a YouTube channel, and like this video. And we will be back once again, like I said, between the last game, the Thursday game, and the next game, to give you the perspective from the 7th floor. Thanks, all. Always good to see you, my man. We'll be in
Thanks,
touch.
Kev. Thanks for initiating me, brother.
No worries. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Go Coogs.